The NEC, or National Electrical Code, doesn't explicitly allow or forbid the installation of lighting track in closed closets. Section 410.8b prohibits the use of recessed fixtures in closed closets, but lighting track isn't considered a recessed fixture. Section 410.8c doesn't address using lighting track in closed closets either. Lighting track is defined as a manufactured assembly designed to support and energize luminaires that can be readily repositioned on the track. This definition doesn't state that lighting track fixtures must be surface mounted. The NFPA, or National Fire Protection Association Technical Committee on Electrical Wiring and Protection, provides rationale. The prohibition of recessed fixtures in closed closets is due to concerns about ignition hazards from stored clothing. However, lighting track fixtures meeting specific requirements are deemed acceptable. These requirements are enclosed lamps, if incandescent, and proper clearances from combustible materials. Let's consider some electrical safety concerns. Firstly, overheating. Incandescent lamps can generate heat, so ensuring the track fixtures are properly ventilated to prevent overheating is vital. Secondly, physical damage. Closed closets can be cramped, so it's important to use durable track fixtures not easily damaged by clothing. Thirdly, electrical shock. All electrical installations should be properly grounded to minimize the risk of electrical shock. In conclusion, based on the NEC definition of lighting track and the rationale from the NFPA, installing lighting track in closed closets is permissible if the fixtures meet certain requirements. These are firstly, enclosed lamps if incandescent, secondly, proper clearances from combustible materials, thirdly, proper ventilation to prevent overheating, fourthly, durable construction to withstand physical damage, and fifthly, proper grounding to minimize the risk of electrical shock. It's important to note that while the NEC doesn't explicitly prohibit lighting track in closets under these conditions, the local authority having jurisdiction, OJ, has the final say on code interpretation and enforcement. Therefore, consulting with a local electrical inspector before installation is always recommended. They can provide guidance specific to the local codes and any amendments that may apply in your area. Now let's delve a little deeper into each of these safety considerations. Focusing first on enclosed lamps for incandescent bulbs, it's critical to understand why this is so important. Incandescent bulbs produce a significant amount of heat as a byproduct of their light production. This heat can easily ignite nearby combustible materials like clothing, boxes, or other items typically stored in their closet. Enclosing the bulb within a proper fixture shields these materials from direct contact with the heat source, significantly reducing the risk of fire. The enclosure should be made of a non-combustible material and designed to prevent the escape of sparks or hot fragments in case the bulb breaks. LED bulbs, on the other hand, generate considerably less heat than incandescent bulbs. While enclosed fixtures are still a good practice, the risk of ignition is much lower. If using LED fixtures, ensure they are rated for enclosed spaces, as some LED can overheat if not properly ventilated. Moving on to proper clearances from combustible materials, this is a fundamental safety principle in electrical installations. The NEC specifies minimum distances that electrical equipment must be kept away from flammable materials. These clearances are designed to prevent heat transfer from the equipment to the surrounding materials, reducing the risk of ignition. For lighting fixtures in closets, the specific clearance requirements depend on the type of fixture, its wattage, and the materials it's mounted near. Generally, a minimum clearance of 12 inches is recommended for incandescent fixtures, but it's crucial to consult the NEC and the fixture manufacturer's instructions for specific requirements. Consider the types of clothing and storage materials commonly found in closets when determining clearances. Loose clothing, paper products, and aerosol cans are particularly flammable and should be kept well away from lighting fixtures. Next, let's discuss proper ventilation to prevent overheating. Even with enclosed lamps and adequate clearances, lighting fixtures can still overheat if not properly ventilated. Overheating can damage the fixture itself, reduce its lifespan, and increase the risk of fire. Proper ventilation allows heat to dissipate away from the fixture, keeping it within safe operating temperatures. Many modern lighting fixtures are designed with built-in ventilation features, such as vents or fins that promote airflow. When selecting lighting fixtures for closets, choose models specifically designed for enclosed spaces and consider the ambient temperature of the closet. If the closet is poorly ventilated or prone to high temperatures, consider using fixtures with low wattage bulbs or LED fixtures, which generate less heat. Furthermore, durable construction to withstand physical damage is a practical consideration for lighting fixtures in closets. Closets are often cramped and cluttered spaces, where fixtures are susceptible to accidental bumps, knocks, and impacts from clothing, boxes, or other stored items. Fragile fixtures can easily break, exposing live electrical components and creating a shock hazard. Choose lighting fixtures made of durable materials, such as metal or impact-resistant plastic. Look for fixtures with sturdy mounting hardware and protective covers that can withstand the rigors of closet environments. Avoid fixtures with exposed bulbs or delicate components that are easily damaged. Finally, proper grounding to minimize the risk of electrical shock is a critical safety measure for all electrical installations, including lighting fixtures and closets. Grounding provides a low-resistance path for fault current to flow back to the source, tripping a circuit breaker or fuse and energizing the circuit. This prevents electrical shock in the event of a short circuit or other electrical fault. Ensure that all lighting fixtures in the closet are properly grounded according to the NEC and local electrical codes. Use the appropriate grounding conductors, connectors, and techniques to create a reliable ground path. Test the grounding system after installation to verify its effectiveness. Remember, electrical work can be dangerous, and it's always best to consult with a qualified electrician if you're unsure about any aspect of the installation. They can ensure that the work is done safely and in compliance with all applicable codes and regulations. Now let's discuss how to apply these principles in practical scenarios. Imagine you're installing lighting in a walk-in closet that's approximately 6 feet by 8 feet. The closet is primarily used for storing clothing, shoes, and accessories. You've decided to use track lighting to provide adjustable and flexible illumination. Firstly, choose track lighting fixtures specifically designed for closet applications. These fixtures should have enclosed lamps, be made of durable materials, and have built-in ventilation features. Select LED bulbs to minimize heat generation and energy consumption. Secondly, plan the layout of the track lighting system to ensure adequate clearances from combustible materials. Position the track at least 12 inches away from any clothing or storage items. Avoid placing the track directly above shelves or hanging rods where items could come into contact with the fixtures. Thirdly, install the track lighting system according to the manufacturer's instructions and the NEC. Use appropriate mounting hardware and ensure that the track is securely fastened to the ceiling. Connect the track to a dedicated circuit with a properly sized circuit breaker. Fourthly, ground the track lighting system according to the NEC. Use a grounding conductor to connect the track to the building's grounding system. Test the grounding system to verify its effectiveness. Fifthly, after installation, inspect the track lighting system to ensure that all connections are secure and that there are no exposed wires or damaged components. Verify that the fixtures are properly ventilated and that there are adequate clearances from combustible materials. By following these steps, you can install a safe and compliant track lighting system in your walk-in closet. Now, let's consider another scenario. Suppose you're installing lighting in a small reach-in closet that's only 2 feet deep. In this case, space is limited, and it's even more important to choose compact and low-profile lighting fixtures. Recessed lighting is prohibited by the NEC. Track lighting can be an option, so carefully consider the clearances. Firstly, choose compact track lighting fixtures with enclosed LED lamps. Look for fixtures that are specifically designed for small spaces and that have a low profile to maximize headroom. Secondly, carefully plan the layout of the track lighting system to ensure adequate clearances from combustible materials. Because the closet is shallow, it may be necessary to mount the track on the side wall rather than the ceiling. Position the track as far away from clothing and other stored items as possible. Thirdly, install the track lighting system according to the manufacturer's instructions and the NEC. Use appropriate mounting hardware and ensure that the track is securely fastened to the wall. Connect the track to a dedicated circuit with a properly sized circuit breaker. Fourthly, ground the track lighting system according to the NEC. Use a grounding conductor to connect the track to the building's grounding system. Test the grounding system to verify its effectiveness. Fifthly, after installation, inspect the track lighting system to ensure that all connections are secure and that there are no exposed wires or damaged components. Verify that the fixtures are properly ventilated and that there are adequate clearances from combustible materials. It is important to note that in very small closets, it may be difficult to achieve the required clearances for track lighting. In such cases, consider using surface-mounted LED fixtures with enclosed lamps. These fixtures can be mounted directly on the ceiling or wall and provide adequate illumination without taking up too much space. In either scenario, remember to consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that the installation is safe and compliant with all applicable codes and regulations. They can assess the specific conditions of the closet and recommend the best lighting solution for your needs. Remember, safety is paramount when it comes to electrical installations. Always follow the NEC and local electrical codes and consult with a qualified electrician if you have any questions or concerns. By taking these precautions, you can ensure that your closet lighting system is safe, efficient, and provides the illumination you need. Let's move into a deeper dive into the NEC requirements and how they specifically apply to lighting in closets. Section 410.16 covers luminaires in closed closets. 410.16 covers luminaire types. Only surface-mounted or recessed incandescent or LED luminaires with completely enclosed light sources are permitted. Pendant luminaires or lamp holders are not permitted. The key takeaway here is the phrase completely enclosed light sources. This means that the bulb or LED element must be fully enclosed within a protective housing. This prevents direct contact with combustible materials and reduces the risk of ignition. Open or exposed bulbs are not allowed. Section 410.16b covers the minimum clearances. The NEC specifies minimum distances that luminaires must be kept away from storage spaces. For surface-mounted luminaires, a minimum clearance of 12 inches is required from the nearest storage space. For recessed luminaires, a minimum clearance of 6 inches is required from the nearest storage space. These clearances are designed to prevent heat transfer from the luminaire to the surrounding materials. Section 410.16c covers location. Luminaires must be located so that there is sufficient space for proper maintenance and to prevent contact with stored items. Luminaires should not be located directly above shelves or hanging rods where items could come into contact with them. It's important to understand that these are minimum requirements, and local jurisdictions may have additional regulations. Always check with your local electrical inspector before starting any electrical work. Let's delve into the specific types of luminaires that are suitable for closet applications. Surface-mounted LED luminaires are a popular choice for closets because they are energy efficient, long-lasting, and generate very little heat. Choose luminaires with enclosed lamps and durable construction. Recessed LED luminaires can be used if they meet the clearance requirements. They provide a clean and unobtrusive look. Again, choose luminaires with enclosed lamps and durable construction. Track lighting can be used if it meets the clearance requirements and other restrictions. However, the track must be installed carefully. Select fixtures designed for smaller spaces. It is important to note that incandescent luminaires are generally not recommended for closets due to the high heat they generate. If you must use incandescent luminaires, choose models with enclosed lamps and ensure that they are properly ventilated. Let's explore some best practices for installing closet lighting. Firstly, plan the lighting layout carefully. Consider the size and shape of the closet, the location of storage spaces, and the amount of light needed. Secondly, use a dedicated circuit for closet lighting. This will prevent overloading the circuit and reduce the risk of fire. Thirdly, install a switch inside the closet to control the lighting. This will make it easy to turn the lights on and off. Fourthly, use a dimmer switch to adjust the brightness of the lighting. This can be useful for creating different moods and saving energy. Fifthly, inspect the lighting system regularly to ensure that it is working properly. Look for loose connections, damaged wires, and other potential hazards. And lastly, if you are not comfortable working with electricity, hire a qualified electrician to install the closet lighting system. Now, let's discuss some common mistakes to avoid when installing closet lighting. Firstly, do not use open or exposed bulbs. These are a fire hazard. Secondly, do not exceed the maximum wattage rating of the luminaires. This can cause the luminaires to overheat and fail. Thirdly, do not block the ventilation openings in the luminaires. This can cause the luminaires to overheat and fail. Fourthly, do not run wires through walls or ceilings without using proper conduit. This can damage the wires and create a shock hazard. Fifthly, do not overload the circuit. This can cause the circuit breaker to trip or fire. And lastly, do not work on electrical systems while they are energized. Always turn off the power before starting any electrical work. To further clarify the NEC requirements, let's examine some specific examples. Example 1. A homeowner wants to install a surface-mounted incandescent luminaire in a closet. The luminaire has an enclosed lamp and is rated for 60 watts. The closet is 4 feet deep and 6 feet wide. The homeowner plans to mount the luminaire on the ceiling in the center of the closet. Is this installation compliant with the NEC? Answer. The installation is likely compliant with the NEC, provided that the luminaire is installed at least 12 inches away from any storage spaces. The luminaire must also be properly grounded and connected to a dedicated circuit. Example 2. A contractor wants to install a recessed LED luminaire in a closet. The luminaire has an enclosed lamp and is rated for 15 watts. The closet is 3 feet deep and 5 feet wide. The contractor plans to install the luminaire in the center of the ceiling. Is this installation compliant with the NEC? Answer. The installation is likely compliant with the NEC provided that the luminaire is installed at least 6 inches away from any storage spaces. The luminaire must also be properly grounded and connected to a dedicated circuit. Example 3. A landlord wants to install a pendant luminaire in a closet. The luminaire has an open bulb and is rated for 100 watts. The closet is 2 feet deep and 4 feet wide. The landlord plans to hang the luminaire from the center of the ceiling. Is this installation compliant with the NEC? Answer. The installation is not compliant with the NEC. Pendant luminaires and open bulbs are prohibited in closets. Let's consider some advanced lighting control options for closets. Occupancy sensors can automatically turn the lights on when someone enters the closet and off when they leave. This can save energy and extend the life of the bulbs. Daylight sensors can automatically adjust the brightness of the lighting based on the amount of natural light available. This can save energy and create a more comfortable lighting environment. Smart lighting systems can be controlled remotely using a smartphone or tablet. This allows you to adjust the brightness, color, and other settings of the lighting from anywhere. Emergency lighting systems can provide backup lighting in the event of a power outage. This can be useful for safety and security. Consider the benefits of these advanced lighting control options when designing your closet lighting system. To ensure a safe and compliant closet lighting installation, always follow these steps. Firstly, plan the lighting layout carefully. Secondly, choose the appropriate luminaires. Thirdly, install the wiring and luminaires according to the NEC. Fourthly, ground the lighting system properly. Fifthly, inspect the installation thoroughly. And lastly, consult with a qualified electrician if you have any questions or concerns. By following these guidelines, you can create a closet lighting system that is safe, efficient, and provides the illumination you need. It is important to reiterate that the NEC is a complex and constantly evolving document. The information provided here is for general guidance only and should not be considered a substitute for professional advice. Always consult with a qualified electrician and your local electrical inspector before starting any electrical work.